Halverson, and there was a couple other guys. Actually, one was a Philly cop, and another one who was he's actually chief of police in Bucks County right now, one of the municipalities. He would come up, and then there was another cop. I forget his name, but my dad trained him when he was younger. And then he came up and he would box the heavyweights for us, spar them, work them out. But it came to a point where I was at the point, this is too much, because now I live in Horsham. It's about 45 minutes away from here. I do real estate. I had nights appointments. I actually had the kids, Brian and Jacqueline. And it was getting to be too much. And I was really leaning towards, we try this, it's good, it's nice, and we're going to, but can't
keep doing it.
Yeah. So there was a 7-Eleven that ran a corner, and I was up there one night on the way to the gym getting a cup of coffee, and there was a guy, I don't know who he was, there was a guy on the other side of the counter getting a coffee. I was wearing a boxing club shirt, and he says, "Are you one of them guys that train my kids over there at that gym?" And I said, yeah. He almost had tears in his eyes. And he said to me, for the first time in my life, since my kid's been going to that gym, I know where he is on a Saturday night.
Wow.
Because when they come to the gym, they, especially Timmy stays in touch with the parents. They got to do good in school. If they're not doing good in school or they got problems in school,
it's the first thing he says when a new kid signs up. I've been hearing it my whole life in the ring or in the gym. When a kid signs up, he'll be wrapping his hands, and he always says to him, "First thing, you do your schoolwork. You can't come here if you're doing bad at school." He said, "Grades come up, then you can start coming again. But you have to do good in school, and you stay off the streets."
That's amazing. I mean, you guys are instilling them basic structure that I'm certain a lot of these kids are missing.
It's too bad Timmy Sr. isn't here, because you got to see him when he talks to a kid for the first time. It's unbelievable. And you can imagine you're getting, and I don't want to say you get troubled kids, but you get kids that have no place else to go. And you got kids that they're coming to the gym and they think they're going to learn how to fight so they can beat somebody up when they get home at night. That's the first thought anybody
exactly.
And Timmy straightens them out right off the bat. We're going to teach you how to fight. We're going to teach you don't have to fight. And I'm not doing it justice. You got it. It's too bad he's not here because he doesn't.
Right, you're not allowed to fight out on the street.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and you don't have to fight, and nobody gets in the ring until they're ready to get in the ring. And that's another thing kids do. They think they're just going to jump in, put some gloves on, and fight. And
you got to earn that.
And that's such a thing to say about your gym, because a lot of these other gyms, for-profit gyms, I don't care if you do your work, I don't care if you get it. I'm making a big generalization, but for the most part, as long as you're paying your dues, you can come. And you guys, like you said, pay your dues or don't. We're not turning you away, but you're still giving a kid, and I'm sure, the attention that they really need that they're not getting anywhere else. And that's amazing.
Yeah, he does.
We don't turn kids away that can't fight, and we don't turn kids away that will never be able to fight.
Again, that's why, when we were saying before, I think a good way to put it. I mean, Brian, we're talking about recently is we help people through boxing. We help people first. Right. Yeah. Other boxing gyms, they're there. If you're going to go there, you're paying the money. They're going to focus on boxing. Mm-hmm. We're here to help people. We're here to help people, especially the young kids. And I remember I grew up going to that gym. My mom would work nights sometimes. I'd go there, do my homework with my dad, or I'd be here at my grandmom's. And I remember being younger, and there'd be kids, and they'd be arguing, they'd be starting trouble in the gym. I'd be thinking to my dad, and again, I'm a little kid. I'm just kick them out. Why are they starting that? My dad always said, he's like, you don't do that. They're here for a reason. Yeah. They have nowhere else to go. If you kick them out of here, they're going to be in the street. Or some of these kids, and then as I got older, you realize that they come there for the help and they appreciate it, and you don't want to just send people home if that's their problem, or send them to the streets when that's not going to help anybody. As a little kid, you don't realize that until I get older. I look back to growing up seeing my dad do that, and he always said, every time we get back in the gym or get back in the car to go home, Grandpa never turned anybody away. As long as there was a gym, you had somewhere to go if he was there. He was always there to help people. That's what we're here to do. Been hearing that my whole life, and now that I'm going more often and I'm seeing the bigger picture, now that I'm older, you appreciate it. And I understand now what the goal was. We weren't just a boxing gym. We're there to help the community. We're there to help anybody that needs it. He told kids all the time, take my cell phone. If there's ever a problem, if you're not at the gym, you can call me. That's what we're here for. And it was cool.
And they call.
They do call.
I mean, just to echo that, you got these these people who are so disconnected. You know, from what I'm getting, from what you guys are telling me is just such a. They always say it takes a village to raise a kid, and you guys got a lot of kids. You know, there's a huge. It's a huge village. You know, coming from you guys, and it's like you said. You know, when you were younger, you think just kick them out, and that's the first thought. A lot of people who are disconnected from what they see in these kids, they just think these troubled kids. There's no use in saving them. There's no point. But you guys are doing the complete opposite, and that's the
important. That's the exact point, and it's an important point because a lot of the kids, I would say most of the kids that come into the gym, not all of them, but most of them they come from problem backgrounds, family problems. Some of them don't have the greatest parents, or some of them don't know where their parents are at the time, and they have a very low self-esteem.
It all kind of starts from home.
Yeah. They have a very low self-esteem, and then they come into the gym, and it doesn't matter if they can fight, they can't fight, but somebody takes interest in them. Just a few years ago, and they know that you're being honest with them, and they know that you're sincere, and they know that you care because they know lies and bullshit because they deal with it all the time on a regular basis, and it just builds up it just really helps them out with their self-confidence, their self-esteem, and then they learn. There's guys. There was one guy that he was in. My mom got a letter not too long after my dad passed, and it said, "Dear Mrs. Costello, my name's so and so. You don't know me, blah blah blah. But I heard about Jack passing away, and I wanted to say, condolences." He said, but he wanted her to know that today he's living his dream instead of dreaming his dream, and he was a fighter pilot in Iraq, Desert Storm 1992. So. That's how you change people's lives, and we've seen it. And they don't all make it. We had a kid came in. Actually, was a nephew of a congressman. He's no longer a congressman, but he was, and he called up and said, "Can you help me out?" The kid's was with a stepfather and a mom, and then a father. It was just not a real good situation between the parents. It had nothing to do with the kids, and the parents were all good people. They just weren't good people together. Yeah, so the kid's caught in the middle, and they were worried about him. So me and Big Tim said, "Yeah, bring him down." We talked to him, doing school, this and that, and he was doing good. He was he wanted to get in and fight, but he wasn't ready. We just told him next one. So long story short, one Saturday morning I get a call. Everything seems to be going good. He's doing good in school. Turns around, I get a call from his mother that Brian locked himself in a room with the radio blasting, and you come over and talk to him? So I said, sure. So I come over. Turns out the kid had hung himself, 14 years old. He was hanging on the end of a belt with his bedpost, off his bedpost. That was the worst situation I was ever in my life. But
they called Pat because Brian trusted Patrick.
Yeah.
And this kid was, I had met him just 2 weeks ago. I was still bringing
Brian Anastasia.
You say these things, you should tell people while they're alive, but this kid was the nicest kid, good-looking kid, went to North Catholic, just a real polite kid. And I didn't know him nearly as well as Patrick did, but I had just met him. And correct me again, Pat, if I'm wrong, but I think that was a Saturday before Mother's Day. Because I had come over here and you weren't here.
That's right.
Yeah. And that's when I heard the whole story. But it's like Patrick said,
the point I'm trying to
unfortunately, you
make,
lose sometimes.
That was a terrible situation, but the point I'm trying to make is you never know what's in these kids' mind. Like we're saying, he was a good kid. He was coming along. He was doing good, but you never know. That's why you can't give up on any of them because you never know where they are. And with the help we get from the community, like we get involved in a lot of things in the community. Timmy goes to that stuff you go to with
the block is back. The Peace and Play. You're going there too, right?
Yeah, I'll be there on Saturday.
Yeah. The block is back. The Tacony Civic when they do their thing.
Yeah,
the neighborhoods cleanups, the historical thing. Like the gym is involved in everything. When I say the gym, it's not so much us. It's the kids.
Yeah, the kids
part.
trainers. I mean,
they're part of something.
Yeah, you're creating an even bigger community than
They
the one
they
you
get
guys
pictures
already
with police officers. They get pictures with important people.
they get recognized.
I don't think anybody's important.
Even
to tell you
the
the
kids,
truth.
though, get
The
recognized.
kids are the most important.
Not to interrupt, he gets that from my father. My father would talk to the Pope the same way he would talk to us. He was just that. He'd be respectful.
Yeah.
But he didn't just because you had a title,
He
it didn't
put you on a
necessarily make you.
pedestal,
Yeah,
for sure.
exactly. There you go.
But the fact that these kids, like we took the kids, once again for the building trades, we had a team from Ireland come over and box our gym in the old Schmidt's Brewery down on Girard Avenue. That was probably in the 90s, 98. It was a great bout. But in return, our team went to Ireland. Now, and when our team went, we got somebody to sponsor, and the community did this for us. That each sponsor sponsored a kid and a coach, and they went to Ireland. Now we had black, white, male, female, Hispanic. It was America, our team, when we went over there, USA, to fight in Ireland. Those kids will never, if they live to be 100 years, will never forget that trip.
That's
They don't get out of the neighborhood. They can't get off the
Yeah.
block.
That's an experience some people who, even successful people, will never even
Right.
have. Yeah.
Sabor is one of the most dedicated trainers we have right now. And he brings these kids from all over the city.
Well, he puts, like, as we were just talking about, one kid hasn't been in a while. And he came in, they were like, teasing him, like, why aren't you going? Summertime, you're out hanging out now, you can't show up to the gym. He had no way of getting here. So Coach Sabor, and something to stress too, just all the trainers that we've had, but Coach Sabor, he picks them up. He's got a van, he picks up 70 kids, brings them here. On his own time, on his own, again, that's
On his own time, on his own dime.
Everybody's
he'll go
volunteer,
anywhere.
even the trainers. The trainers we get, and throughout the years, just growing up, a lot of the trainers were trainers and fighters that knew Grandpa, and once they heard there was a gym, they wanted to help out, they wanted to do their part. And all their trainers that we get, they do it for the love of the sport, and they love boxing. And we're fortunate enough to have the ones that we have right now. They love helping the kids. And the event Saturday, he's going to be taking a couple of the kids there. Again, it's all their own time, their own effort, and it's just something that they want to do, something they want to be a part of. And when he started coming here, so we were about, he showed up with his own fighters and was happy to follow the rules and all. But rules are too, all the trainers that come in, if you're going to be here all the time, we help everybody. This is a community gym. If you're going to be with your fighters, you have to help some of the other kids out. Once he found out what we were about, he took it by storm, and he runs the whole gym some nights. He'll have 20 kids by himself, and he has everybody doing something. He has everybody moving. And again, he's there on his own time. It's fortunate that we have all the trainers that show up to volunteer. Everybody comes after work. We open up at 5 o'clock. People work all day and then spend the next couple hours in a sweaty gym just boxing.
Well, the key word there is community. A lot of people forget, like, the common unity. Everybody wants to get together and actually make a difference.
Yeah.
And
what's cool is you notice the kids doing it too. Especially the one thing, like you see, and I 100% have been recognized this more so. I've been going more consistently, but even like Brian, he always stresses the kids. If you see somebody, we all start at the same place. 9 times out of 10, the kids that sign up don't know how to jump rope. Some people, everybody's embarrassed. Like, I don't even know how to jump rope. Because the first thing we say is, first thing you got to do, go out there, you grab a jump rope, you jump rope for 3 rounds. I'm like, I don't know how. It's not a problem. I'll go out with you. I'll grab one. I'll stand there next to you. I'll do it with you. And you start seeing other kids no. They start grabbing the other younger kids. Some of the older kids, they've been there for a couple weeks. Now they can jump rope. So they're grabbing the new kids. No. Take your time with it. Do one at a time. One at a time. When they start hitting the heavy bag or shadow boxing, they hold their hands. You see the other kids grabbing them. No, spread your feet out. That's awesome to see. It's great when we do it. It's great when the coaches do it. That's what we're there for. We're happy to do it. But when you see the kids helping each other, especially the ones that didn't know anything when they showed up,
you can see the confidence in them growing.
and they appreciate it so much. And they really do. And you notice the difference in themselves when they come in. Everybody grabs a jump rope, wants to go in a corner because it's just too many people around. Now they're in the center of the room, jump roping, helping everybody out, talking to everybody. Everybody's hanging out. That's when it's awesome to see. Like a night like tonight, it was kind of slower, I guess. But there was a good 10 guys in there. Everybody was hanging out with each other. Everybody was jumping rope, hitting the bag, talking. A couple kids were sparring. Coaches are going from this kid to that kid, making sure everybody's doing something. We had 3 new guys sign up. Everybody was moving. It was full community at